Morning blaze on Joplin's West 7th Street.
Showers and thunderstorms this morning, gone now. What the future holds in the Skywatch Weather Center.
And we take you to Arizona, one of the best states for stargazing.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Firefighters work to extinguish a structure fire at a vacant building on 7th Street overnight. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes. Smoke was visible for miles this morning as a vacant building burned on Joplin's West 7th Street. Firefighters responded to the blaze shortly around 7 a.m. Officials say they had recently deemed the building at 720 South Cunningham as an unsecured, vacant, dilapidated structure. After clearing the fire, crews brought in a backhoe and brought the building down. And a tractor trailer takes out a pole in Joplin overnight, leaving hundreds without power. It happened shortly before 2 a.m. when a semi struck a utility pole near 6th and Kentucky. The hit left a portion of East downtown Joplin pitch black. At one point, close to 400 Liberty Electric customers were without power. Well, we are finally getting some relief today, and it started this morning in the form of rain.
It did. In fact, it started for folks in Bourbon County in the form of a severe thunderstorm warning.
That it did.
But the rest of this, these storms, they cycled, they'd get a little strong, then they'd die out, then they'd recycle. Nothing crazy really came of any of it. The good news is as you can see, they are gone. They're all but gone, I should say. And check out what's behind it. I put on the satellite because you can see clear skies. Nothing but clear skies do we see. We did have, and we do have, a flood warning for Wilson County that runs until 3:45 today, and that's because of all that torrential rainfall that they got this morning. Those storms, again, they recycle and recycle over the same areas, and that's the other thing. So you remember this morning, Fort Scott, Iola were the cool spots because they were under all that rain this morning. Now, they're the warm spots, 80 in Fort Scott, 83 in Iola, and you can see these patches of yellow where the rain is still falling or just stopped falling. It's like Joplin is at 70, and this morning we were 75, 76, 78. And the good news is, or the bad news, it depends, the sun's going to move in pretty quickly. So through the day, we're still going to hit a high around 89 degrees, maybe 90 in some areas because of the clearing and the warming trend that's going to be behind it. However, because of the rain and then because of the clearing, it's going to get pretty nice tonight. Once the skies clear out, most of us heading for overnight lows in about the mid-60s. We'll have more on the forecast here in just a little bit.
Thanks, Chris. This summer is already proving to be a hot one, not only here at home, but around the world. Some places are experiencing record heat, while others are coping with historic rainfall. CBS's Ian Lee reports.
It's in the summer when Mother Nature really lets loose by breaking records. A heat wave is cooking much of Europe, where many feel
but moving around in the sun like it is too hot to do anything.
British officials are warning this Sunday could be the UK's hottest day ever recorded, with temperatures hitting 110. And that's the cool part of the continent. In Spain, people try to beat the heat, with temperatures already reaching 115 degrees. The warm weather is fueling wildfires across the continent, from Portugal to Italy. The writing is, well, on the field, as the country struggles with its worst drought in 70 years. Underpinning why experts say climate change is hurting our ability to feed the world.
South America has had a variety of weather conditions that have limited their ability to produce grains, and they're a major grain exporter as well.
While it's hot and dry here in Europe, even London has no rain in its forecast. Other parts of the world are dealing with too much water. Sydney is now cleaning up after the worst flooding in a century. More than 60,000 people fled their homes across eastern Australia.
The landscape is absolutely saturated. The creeks and rivers are still incredibly swollen.
Some areas of southern China are also suffering the worst flooding in 100 years. Chinese officials warn the country should brace for more extreme wet weather in the coming months. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
The heat wave in Europe could be so bad that the UK government is preparing for a national heat wave emergency. That's declared when it's so hot. Illness and death may occur even among fit and healthy people. Well, firefighters are making some progress in their battle to contain the fire threat to California's giant sequoias. The Washburn fire in Yosemite National Park is now 22% contained as firefighters work to protect some of the largest and oldest trees in the world. So far, it's burned more than 4 square miles of historic parkland. Yosemite is partly closed because of the fire, and hundreds of people have been evacuated. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, Travel Tuesday.
Arizona is one of the best states in the nation for stargazing. This telescope in Flagstaff is one of the reasons why. I'm Wendy Gillette. I'll bring you here coming up.
And later, we're making tropical barbecue chicken packets in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The anniversary of the Apollo 11 mission to the moon is next week. Interest in the moon and everything else above us intensified during the pandemic. Wendy Gillette travels to Arizona, one of the best states in the country, to view the night sky.
Liftoff. Next Wednesday marks 53 years since Apollo 11 blasted off on its journey to the moon, bringing Neil Armstrong to those first steps. As the world shut down during the pandemic and seemed a bit smaller, curiosity about what lies beyond our planet skyrocketed.
There has been a growth in interest, that's for sure.
Kevin Legore saw sales double as a senior product specialist for Skywatcher, one of the largest telescope manufacturers in the world.
We definitely did see a major explosion in people calling us looking for product to help get out and do something with their families, or it's just something that they've always wanted to do, and now just turned out to be the time for them to do that.
Legore lives in Phoenix, Arizona, one of the best states for enjoying the night sky.
Arizona is probably the capital for the United States for astronomy because we have that really dry, arid desert.
At the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, visitors can see the telescope Apollo astronauts used to study the moon during training. The city was named the world's first dark sky place in 2001, recognizing communities committed to minimizing light pollution. Arizona is home to 6 of the 25 dark sky communities in the U.S., including Fountain Hills, where the astronomy-themed Adero Scottsdale offers dark sky corner suites and nightly stargazing. But the Grand Canyon arguably boasts some of the best views. 25 minutes from the South Rim, we went glamping for a reduced rate at Under Canvas. Some tents have private bathrooms, fireplaces, and all the comforts of home.
They also have 7 stargazer tents with plastic pop-outs above the beds so you can look out at the stars at night.
So on an average night, you can see the Milky Way, and we have low light all around our camp.
The Grand Canyon earned a Dark Sky Park designation in 2019. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, Grand Canyon Junction, Arizona.
7 states where there are dark sky communities besides Arizona are Indiana, California, Texas, Colorado, Illinois, Utah, and Idaho. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
If everything old is new again, then today's cooking method is right on the mark. Plus, it's super tasty.
But first, Chris Warner returns with your complete forecast.
These are not the actual temperatures at all. This is just how much colder it is right now compared to 24 hours ago. So at 12:12 yesterday, Carl Junction was 21 degrees warmer than where they are right now. Oswego, 15 degrees warmer. Independence, 18 degrees warmer. And that's because we had some showers and storms. Now, places like Iola, Yates Center, not as cool compared to where they were yesterday, but that's because they got the showers and storms this morning, and they moved on out of here, and now the sun's coming out. So the Beatles would say, here comes the sun. Take a look. The 7th and range line, cloud cover still partly cloudy, mostly cloudy over Joplin, but you look off to the northwest, and you can see clearing skies. So let's take a look at what the rain did to the temperatures. 70. I woke up this morning at 2:30 and it was 81 according to my phone. At 2:30 in the morning it was 81. It is now 70 degrees because of the rain showers that we saw. And see these pockets of yellow? This is where we've been seeing the most recent rain. So I know this morning the rain started up here, Iola, Fort Scott, Chanute, hung around for quite a while. So this morning Iola and Fort Scott were sitting in the 60s while everybody else was pushing 80 degrees. Now the roles have been reversed because the rain moved on through. It's clearing out, it's breaking up, but it's left cooler temperature, considerably cooler temperatures. So when you talk about that 21 degree difference, we're talking it was in the 90s down in this area 24 hours ago, and it's much, much more pleasant, and we got some much needed rainfall. So here's what's left of it. You can see where it started out. This is about 4 hours ago, and then it just kind of moved on through, and as it did, it just slowly started to die out until, boom, gone. And you can see the cloud line just dissipating and clear skies back behind it. Now there is one thing, first the clear skies, take a look, I mean there's nothing off to the northwest, but what we do have is Wilson County got so much rain that there is now a flood warning until 3:45 for just about all of Wilson County because of all of that rain that they did see. So let's take a brief look into the future. We are still going to warm up, believe it or not, because the clouds are clearing. We are going to warm up. We'll get cool back down, though, into the mid-60s for overnight lows before we turn around tomorrow. The sun comes out, and so do the warmer temperatures as we start to get into the lower 90s. So why don't we talk about the future, shall we? 10 o'clock tonight, partly cloudy skies. They give way to clear skies, a few more passing clouds. By Wednesday, 3:30, check out these temperatures. Much, much warmer than where we are right now. And that is simply because it's going to just be sunny. So we still have a few lingering showers. And after they clear out, temperatures are going to get up here into the upper 80s. But we do have a north breeze, and that's what's going to contribute to our cool down tonight as we get into the mid-60s. Now, the north breeze is not going to be much to crow about. But because we've got that northerly direction, it's going to bring in a little bit of cooler air and make things look pretty darn pleasant. So, now let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. And I like to have the time sometimes to go over each day because each day of the week is important. So let's talk about it. Today, rest of today, storms clear out, warms up to 89. Tomorrow, the sun comes out, 93. We get pretty cool. Look at these, lower 70s for lows most of the week, but the temperatures really start to heat up. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, pushing 100 degrees across the board. But as you can see, going into the weekend, we have an increasing chance of showers and thunderstorms. And as that happens, you can see the temperatures, they don't plummet by any means, but they cool off a little bit as we head into the start of the next work week before they start to warm up yet again. We're into a cycle right now here. It's summertime. So we're going to have these brief little nice respite days before we return to summer heat and the near 100 degree temperatures and then maybe some showers. But check out these overnight lows. We might actually be able to give our ACs an extended break, not just like a 1 or 2 night break, but you might be able to give them an extended break as we head into the week ahead.
That would be so nice.
At least overnight. Let me rephrase. You can't give them a break during the day unless you just really love the heat for some reason. But you can maybe give them a break at night, let them, take a rest.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that is the case for sure.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping this stays true and we can just relax a little.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, we take this time to honor today's 4-state hero, Corporal Robert Maddox in the U.S. Marines. The Carl Junction native joined the 276th Platoon based out of San Diego in 1942. He served as a tail gunner on a B-25 bomber during World War II. To Corporal Robert Maddox, we thank you, our 4-state hero. Love making food that's super juicy, but don't like the cleanup that's usually involved? Today, Howard shows us how to make tropical barbecue chicken packets in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you're the type of person who loves food that is super juicy, likes to make sure that everyone has an equal portion, and is not a big fan of washing pots and pans, then foil packet cooking is for you. And if you're not familiar with it, let me share a simple recipe to get you started. We start by cutting 4 squares of aluminum foil, and you'll want to make sure you use a heavy-duty one, and don't be skimpy when cutting it. We season a few chicken breasts with salt and pepper before dipping them in some barbecue sauce. We place one in the center of the foil and top it with a slice of pineapple, some chunked up red pepper, and a bit of chopped scallions. A little bit more barbecue sauce goes on top, and we fold the foil, creating a pocket so our chicken can roast. Place these on a baking sheet and into the oven they go. Or we can cook these right out on the grill. When they're done, make sure you open them carefully because they're gonna be hot. What we end up with is the juiciest chicken ever, topped with the taste of the tropics. The recipe for our tropical barbecue chicken packets is online now and is perfect all year long. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a wrapped up way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
That does look tasty. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
Showers and thunderstorms are out of here, but they did leave behind a flood warning for our friends in Wilson County until 3:45, just because, boy, did it rain this morning. We needed it. As clouds clear out, we are going to shoot up to a high in the upper 80s, and then look at the rest of the week, pushing 100 by the weekend.
All right, what do we have coming up tonight at 5, Dale?
Well, at 5, health officials have connected an outbreak of listeria infections to an ice cream company in Florida. In Health Watch, we're going to look at what listeria is and what to watch out for. Plus, a U.S. appeals court upholds a decision that people are protected by the Constitution when filming police while they work. We're going to speak with a local freelancer about their interactions with local law enforcement. And Oklahoma parents will now have to sign a gender affidavit for their students if enrolled in sports or extracurricular activities. We're going to explain what this means for the child. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dal. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.